First, you do this, and then you f*** up.
Aw man, the Dodo combo's so cool, but I'm having so much trouble searching for Magician of Chaos. Whoa, it's Dodo!
That's right, you little Wait, really? There's like so many ways to search for him. Well, in any case, whether you're having trouble getting to Magician of Chaos, or you just want another way to get to him that might work with some other combos, here's a few unorthodox ways to get him. But first, the key to these searching strategies lies in the effect of Magician of Chaos himself. Specifically the line, reading that he counts as Dark Magician on the field and in the graveyard. The main purpose for this is so that he can be used with usual Dark Magician support cards, things like Dark Magical Circle, Eternal Soul, and so on. I often get the question if we can bypass ritual summoning him with effects like Eternal Soul and the Dark Magician's Destruction effect. The answer is no. Even though he counts as Dark Magician in the graveyard, whether he's ritual summoned or not, he still has to be ritual summoned first before special summoning him from the graveyard. But we do have other options that aren't special summoning. This first one, the legend himself Loza actually told me about it. Pre-preparation of rites let us grab a ritual spell from the deck and a ritual monster mentioned in that spell from the deck or graveyard. Sure, Magician of Chaos doesn't have his own ritual spell that mentions him by name, but Chaos Form does mention Dark Magician, which isn't a ritual monster, so normally it wouldn't work that way, but Magician of Chaos is a ritual monster that counts as Dark Magician in the graveyard. That means pre-preparation of rites could actually get us a Chaos Form from the deck and the ritual monster, Dark Magician, from the graveyard. So we have another way of getting Magician of Chaos after jumping through all of those hoops. Pretty typical for a ritual Dark Magician player. Of course, we still have to get Magician of Chaos in the grave first. There's plenty of ways to do this, but the best way would probably be using Magician's Souls. We could dump Magician of Chaos from the deck, activate pre-prep, grab him, and Chaos Form. And if you're using the Dodo combo, you're not even going to use that Chaos Form, so you can go ahead and dump it with Souls at any point to get one extra draw. In a previous video, I've shown that we can search for any ritual card using Branded Fusion. Depending on the opening hand, there are actually times where we could do the ritual search and also leave a Magician of Chaos in the grave. Perfect for following up with a pre-prep. While this combo is pretty cool and could increase consistency in some decks, I would only recommend you use this type of combo if you have another search target for pre-prep. Otherwise, it'll just be a brick in your hand half the time. That is unless things change and we figure out a way or get new support that would make this search combo even more consistent to pull off. But if you do want to experiment with this combo, I found that Transonic Bird might be one of the best candidates for your other search target. It gives us other ways to get the Chaos Max lock on the opponent, and the ritual spell can even dump ritual monsters from the deck to the graveyard, setting us up for pre-prep. But let's say you don't want to rely on needing Chaos Form in the deck, or you don't want to use another ritual monster as a search target. We do have another option. A long forgotten Dark Magician card actually. Illusion Magic. Yeah. This card that was never really useful might end up becoming useful in some ritual Dark Magician decks. While the setup would be the same as pre-prep, this method has its own ups and downs when compared to pre-prep. The first upside, and it's a big one, Illusion Magic is actually searchable while pre-prep is not. Illusion Magic can also add from the graveyard and the deck at the same time. So we can nab ourselves a vanilla Dark Magician from the deck if we want, alongside a Magician of Chaos from the grave. This gives us an extra card to the hand the same way pre-prep does, though we'd likely use the vanilla DM as the discard for the Dodo combo, and having an extra Dark Magician in the grave is never a bad thing. Illusion Magic being a quick play also gives us a little bit more versatility. But now the downside, and it's also a pretty big one. We need to tribute a spellcaster to activate it. We do have a lot of ways to Rod and Souls, but it's still a pretty steep cost. It could turn Illusion Magic into a brick, and Dark Magician already has enough of those. We could also use Fusion Conscription, but no, it's just a bad card for this. I said earlier I'd only recommend pre-prep if you end up using another ritual monster that you can search normally with it. As for Illusion Magic, it's a little bit easier to justify in more Ritual Dark Magician decks, since it's searchable and requires less specific cards in the deck. The only other card you might need is just a vanilla DM, which you might already be running anyway. So using Illusion Magic and a Ritual Dark Magician at 1 may be an option, depending on your build. Though with that said, these definitely should not replace any of our current searchers. That is, unless we figure out a good way to set them up in the future. Instead, these should be used alongside our current searchers to add a little bit more consistency if they fit into your current build.